Heart disease is often talked about as if it were a single illness, but in reality, it's a broad group of conditions that affect the heart and blood vessels. Many people don't realize that hidden nutritional factors can quietly increase the risk of these problems over time. Today, we're discussing a fascinating new study suggesting that a common vitamin deficiency may increase the risk of heart disease by around 10%. We'll break down what researchers discovered, what it means for your everyday health, and what practical steps you can take to protect your heart. Before we dive deeper, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more health insights backed by research. Also, check the description box below for the sources and references used in this video so you can explore the science yourself. Before we continue, a quick note that today's video is sponsored by an affiliate product called Moringa Magic. If you're looking for a natural way to support your health, Moringa Magic is a dietary supplement made from the powerful moringa plant, often called one of the most nutrient-dense plants on Earth. Moringa is rich in essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that can support energy levels, metabolism, and overall vitality. Many people also use it as part of their wellness routine for weight management and improved daily energy. The way Moringa Magic works is simple. It harnesses the nutritional strength of moringa to help detoxify the body, support liver function, and promote a healthier metabolism. When taken regularly, these benefits may help you feel more energized and support overall well-being. If you're interested in learning more about Moringa Magic, check the description box below where we've placed the affiliate link so you can explore the product for yourself. Now let's return to the topic of vitamin deficiencies and heart health. Cardiovascular disease, often abbreviated as CVD, remains the leading cause of premature death worldwide. Within this category is a group of conditions called atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease, sometimes referred to as ASCVD. These diseases develop when plaques build up inside the arteries. Over time, these plaques narrow the blood vessels, restricting blood flow throughout the body. In severe cases, the narrowing becomes so extreme that blood clots cannot pass through the artery. When this happens in vessels that supply the heart or brain, it can trigger serious events like heart attacks or strokes. Another important consequence of plaque buildup is that arteries become less flexible. Healthy blood vessels are normally elastic, expanding and contracting as blood flows through them. But when plaque accumulates, those vessels stiffen. This stiffness can increase blood pressure, and high blood pressure itself is a major risk factor for cardiovascular disease and stroke. Interestingly, heart disease risk can differ between men and women across different life stages. Earlier in life, women typically have lower rates of heart disease compared with men. However, after menopause, women's risk rises and often becomes similar to that of men. Because of this shift, researchers continue to investigate nutritional and lifestyle factors that may influence cardiovascular risk across populations. One nutrient that has attracted increasing attention is vitamin D. Known primarily for supporting bone health, vitamin D also plays roles in immune function, inflammation control, and cardiovascular health. Some scientists have suspected that low vitamin D levels may be linked to a higher risk of heart disease, but the evidence has been mixed. Recently, researchers in Germany decided to investigate this question in much greater detail using a very large data set. The researchers analyzed data from the UK Biobank, which contains health information from more than 500,000 participants. For this study, they selected nearly 410,000 individuals who met the research criteria. On average, participants were about 57 years old at the beginning of the study, and approximately 55% of them were women. One of the most impressive aspects of this research is that participants were followed for an average of 16 years, giving scientists a long-term view of how vitamin D levels may affect cardiovascular outcomes. At the beginning of the study, researchers recorded participants' vitamin D blood levels. They also collected data from medical records and death certificates to track health outcomes over time. In addition, they examined whether participants reported taking vitamin D supplements or multivitamins containing vitamin D. The scientists focused on several types of atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease. One category was ischemic heart disease, which occurs when clogged arteries limit oxygen supply to the heart muscle. Another was peripheral artery disease, where blocked arteries reduce blood flow to limbs such as the legs. They also examined cerebrovascular disease, which affects blood flow to the brain and can lead to strokes. Finally, they considered general atherosclerotic disease, referring to plaque buildup in arteries throughout the body. To ensure their analysis was as accurate as possible, researchers adjusted their results for lifestyle factors such as body mass index, smoking habits, and alcohol consumption. These variables can strongly influence heart disease risk, so controlling for them helps isolate the potential role of vitamin D. The results were revealing. The study found that vitamin D deficiency was associated with about a 10% higher risk of developing atherosclerotic cardiovascular disease overall. When researchers examined specific conditions, the numbers became even more interesting. Vitamin D deficiency was linked with a 10% higher risk of ischemic heart disease, a 7% increased risk of cerebrovascular disease, a 17% higher risk of atherosclerotic disease, and a 13% higher risk of peripheral artery disease. Even individuals who were not technically deficient but had insufficient vitamin D levels still showed elevated risk. Those with vitamin D insufficiency had about a 5% higher risk of total atherosclerotic heart disease and a 4% higher risk of ischemic heart disease compared with people who had sufficient levels. Perhaps even more concerning was the relationship between vitamin D deficiency and mortality. Participants who were deficient showed a 35% higher risk of dying from atherosclerotic heart disease. In contrast, the increased risk for non-fatal cardiovascular disease events was around 8%. On the other hand, the study also found encouraging evidence regarding supplementation. Participants who reported taking vitamin D supplements had about a 6% lower risk of atherosclerotic heart disease and a 10% lower risk of ischemic heart disease. Even taking a multivitamin containing vitamin D appeared to offer some protective benefit, with reduced risks of total atherosclerotic heart disease, ischemic heart disease, and peripheral artery disease. Of course, like any scientific study, this research has limitations. Some lifestyle data used in the analysis was self-reported by participants, which means it could contain inaccuracies or bias. The researchers also lacked detailed information about supplement dosage, frequency, and specific ingredients, making it difficult to determine exactly how much vitamin D people were taking. Another limitation is that vitamin D levels were measured only at the start of the study. Over the following 16 years, some participants may have started taking supplements or changed their lifestyle habits. Additionally, the UK Biobank population consists largely of white participants, which means the findings may not apply equally to all ethnic groups around the world. Even with these limitations, the findings highlight an important point. Vitamin D levels appear to play a meaningful role in cardiovascular health. Experts suggest that people concerned about their vitamin D status should consider having their levels tested through a simple blood test. If levels fall below about 60 nanomoles per liter, supplementation may be beneficial under medical guidance. Vitamin D deficiency is more common than many people realize. Estimates suggest that around 25% of Americans are deficient, while more than 40% have insufficient levels. That means roughly 2/3 of the population may have suboptimal vitamin D status, potentially increasing their risk for certain health problems. One of the best natural sources of vitamin D is sunlight. When ultraviolet rays from the sun reach the skin, the body produces vitamin D naturally. Spending time outdoors can therefore help maintain healthy levels, while also providing additional benefits such as improved mood and potentially lower blood pressure. However, sunlight exposure isn't always possible depending on climate, lifestyle, or work schedules. In those cases, diet becomes important. Foods containing vitamin D include fortified milk, eggs, especially the yolk, fatty fish like salmon and trout, sardines, and mushrooms that have been exposed to ultraviolet light. Unfortunately, the list of vitamin D-rich foods is relatively small, which helps explain why deficiency is so widespread. It's also important to remember that vitamin D is just one piece of the heart health puzzle. A balanced diet rich in fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and omega-3 fatty acids plays a major role in maintaining healthy arteries. Regular physical activity, effective stress management, and consistent sleep patterns also contribute to cardiovascular wellness. The encouraging news is that these healthy habits often reinforce each other. When people exercise regularly, they frequently sleep better and feel less stressed. When they eat nutritious foods to fuel that activity, they naturally support their heart health at the same time. Ultimately, the takeaway from this research is simple. Maintaining healthy vitamin D levels may be one more step toward protecting your heart. Spending time outdoors, eating vitamin D-rich foods, and speaking with a healthcare professional about testing or supplementation can help ensure your levels stay in a healthy range. If you found this information helpful, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more science-based health content. And remember to check the description box below for the research sources we referenced today, along with the affiliate link to our sponsor, Moringa Magic, if you'd like to explore its potential health benefits as part of your wellness routine.